Hello, NAPO, and welcome to another President's Message. I'm Mindy Gotting, your president. It is October of 2024, and I've been working for a couple months to get this month's guest here with me today. I'm pleased to welcome Tiffany Blassingame, who was our 2024 NAPO President's Award recipient. So, Tiffany, welcome to the President's Message. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you as well, Mindy.
So, before we talk about the award that you were recognized with earlier this year, why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about your business, where you're located, and sort of your history with NAPO?
Sure. Hi, NAPO. I'm Tiffany Blassingame, and I am the owner of Simple Organization based out of Metro Atlanta, Georgia. And I specialize in student organizing and working with middle, high school, college students and supporting their executive function skills. And of course, I still like to dabble in the general home organizing projects with colleagues in the Georgia area.
Amazing. Good. Well, we're happy to have you. How long have you been organizing?
I started my business in 2015 and
Okay.
found NAPO in 2016. Mhm.
Fantastic. All right. So, just to give everyone an overview of what this award means, I wanted to read the official guidelines. So, this is the President's Award, and every year, the president, at his or her discretion, may choose to recognize a NAPO member who has made a significant contribution benefiting the NAPO membership. And I was so pleased to honor you this year because I believe that your work has contributed tremendous positive impact to our industry as a whole and to our association at NAPO. So I wanted to hear from you, Tiffany. What does this award mean to you?
I'll have to say, Mindy, that I was completely surprised about receiving this award. And of course, very honored. Um, I feel as if the work that we do around diversity, equity, and inclusion within NAPO is a collective effort. And so it just blew me away that I was being honored for my role in that. But I am extremely excited for NAPO, and I am, I guess the word is, just so proud of how the work continues because so many organizations, got riled up in 2020 and then they have just been kind of dropping off in their efforts. And NAPO has been doing an excellent job of continuing the work, helping us all to learn more. And so I am just so proud to be a part of that. And I'm very grateful for receiving this award.
Well, that is very high praise coming from you, Tiffany. And you've held a lot of different roles in NAPO. And I remember as I was crafting my remarks back in the spring, I was going through, like, you've been NAPO University instructor. You contributed to our diversity resource collective. You have been on the nominating and leadership development committee. And in each one of those roles, I have in some cases been in meetings where you have, in addition to kind of putting in the hours that any volunteer would, you are also doing additional work to advocate and explain to the rest of the team why, even for example, as an instructor, like why the topic you want to teach is important and valuable for our members, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us more about how you originally found NAPO in 2016, and then how did you get involved in sort of your path through the organization?
I absolutely love that question because I found NAPO through Pinterest. Geraldine Thomas had a Pinterest page, and it was about
Mhm.
welcoming new professional organizers. I wasn't exactly sure that that's what I was, but the more I read her information, I was like, "Oh, this is great." I've never met Geraldine, but she's the one who brought me to NAPO. So I just started digging. And back in 2016, right, there weren't TikTok videos or people organizing or Instagram pages. Didn't have all of that. So it took a little bit of digging, but I finally figured out, oh, I could go and visit the Georgia chapter meeting and find out more. And that's kind of how I started that path to NAPO and with NAPO. And I spent a lot of time just focusing on the organizing and business side my first few years as a member of NAPO. And then I was invited to the virtual conference to speak on a panel about diversity, equity, and inclusion in 2020. And from there, I just started thinking I have this background in training in DEI, and what better place to share that knowledge than with my colleagues with NAPO. And so that's how I started this journey.
I actually remember the first time I met you, and I'm not sure if you remember this moment, but it was the VIP luncheon at, I believe, the Baltimore conference in 2022. And I was introduced to you. You came up and you were chatting with someone who was at my table at the luncheon. And I just remember like your energy. I was like, oh, who is this mover and shaker? Like, I got to meet her. Like you were so dynamic in that moment. And you really made an impression
Oh,
for
wow.
sure.
Well, I'm glad it was a good one.
Yeah. So, all right. So you kind of touched on like where you were really focusing your energy when you first started out. So what advice do you have now that you've been through those early days and are, kind of on the other side of it? What advice do you have for people who are just starting out today?
I feel that a lot of people always say, like, find your niche and go with it. But I feel like just starting out, try all the things. Like, I didn't start out as a student organizer. Like most organizers, I've always been organized and just like how things are when they're in place. And I started doing projects with different people, garages and um, y- estate cleaning and helping senior clients and helping people with ADHD, like all the different things. And so I really think that organizers first starting out should do all the things, try it all, do it all. And then when you're ready to move into a particular niche, if you decide to, then you can move into that. But try it out. It also helps you to really appreciate the work that other organizers do within their niches. There are just some things that I don't know if I would ever be able to go on a project like that again, but I appreciate so much that there are people who do those particular projects. And so I think that all organizers should start off by just dabbling in different things.
So true. I always say that a foundation of knowledge is one of the best tools that you can have in your toolkit, right? Because the more understanding you have, you are able to ask the right questions. You don't take on projects that aren't the right fit for you, right? So I think that there's something to be said for getting exposure, even if you're like, oh, at first blush, like I don't think so. That's not for me.
Yeah.
But then really, I mean, you might surprise yourself, but also then you are, I think, able to make a much more educated decision about what your path could be and why something is or isn't the right fit for you.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tiffany, what is next for you?
Wow, that's a big question.
I know
Um,
you've always got things in the hopper, so
right.
I'm curious to hear what's
I'm used
what
in
you're
different
focusing
places.
on.
So I didn't talk about it, but I also have a school. I opened and
Mhm.
founded a school in 2021, um, and the foundation of the school is around supporting kids at an early age with their executive function. Um, Challenges. So most of our kids have ADHD, anxiety, dyslexia, something that affects their executive function skills. And so that's my biggest project. We're going into year 4 now. And
Wow.
as I kind of think about what's next, it's really to kind of secure and hone in on some of those big projects like that, like the school. I still, of course, do my student organizing in the evenings and on the weekends. So I'm just all things students right now.
You are busy. And you are also just a remarkable person to have in our industry. And I'm so glad that you are willing to share your talents with NAPO. And thank you for your time today, coming and talking to me. If anyone who's watching is curious to hear more about your work and your focus and everything that you're doing with students, is there a way that they can find you or find out more?
Absolutely. My business is Simple Organization, and you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, as well as joining NAPO, the National Association of Black Professional Organizers, as a member or an ally. We meet monthly and we have those discussions around DEI, but it's also a great way to continue to connect with people who are out here doing the work and encouraging each other in this work.
Fantastic. Well, we will leave it there. Tiffany, thank you for joining me today. As always, NAPO, I'm so honored to be your president and thrilled that have the opportunity to bring such interesting members to the stage and really highlight the work that they're doing and shine a spotlight on our best and brightest. So look forward to seeing you again next month.